So there's a place in the Middle East, okay? Some people like it and some people don't, like any place. But for some reason, we're not allowed to talk about this place. And I like to call this place Philadelphia, okay? You'll see what I mean, but I hope you understand as the episode goes forward. Take it easy. Enjoy. Let's get into it. Now, I made one video about the relationship between Charlie and Candace and how Eric Bollinger, he went on Patrick Bet-David's podcast, said there was no relationship, said she hadn't been on tour at all with Turning Point in years, hadn't heard from her since 2015, said there was no relationship between her and Charlie, said it was like a quiet divorce in a sense. And then, you know, Candace and most people were able to produce a video, a whole speech that she gave while on tour with Turning Point in 2024. So that wasn't true from the looks of it. Now, Candace has come through with more information showing that the first narrative that popped up was Charlie was evolving his opinion on a place in the Middle East that I like to call Philadelphia. Keeps us safe and secure on this channel to call it Philadelphia. Philadelphia, I've always liked Philadelphia, okay? So, basically, she's showing that this is actually true. And she has the proof in the form of actual messages from a group chat. Now, we're going to get into what this group chat actually is, because it has to be someone who is giving her this information. So there's someone who is close enough at Turning Point to be in on this very small group chat that is willing to give this information to Candace. That's what it has to be, because there's no way, by what you're going to hear, that Candace is actually inside that group chat. So that opens up a whole other can of worms. Like, who is on Candace's side at Turning Point? Is it more than one person? We don't know. But listen to this.
Knew for an absolute fact that Charlie was done with
Philadelphia,
bullying him. That's what bothers me so much about this man. Him allowing these headlines, Charlie's pastor speaks out, you know, crushes Candace because of what she said, not whatever. I don't like it. He knew, and others knew, that Charlie was done with
Philadelphia.
You're bullying him, and I am now going to present you proof of what I am saying. This is an actual group chat, which happened 2 days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. There were 9 people in total on this chat, including Charlie and Rob McCoy. I'm going to protect the names of the other 7 for now. To be clear, I might actually release a name every day this week, but I want to show you this because suffice it to say, Rob McCoy was on this text thread, and I think it helps contextualize him as a person, in my view, that he would attack me for telling the truth about the pressure that he was facing. Take a look. So Charlie writes in this group chat, just lost another huge
Philadelphia
donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Somebody writes, oh. Charlie writes,
Philadelphia
donors play into all of the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the
pro-Philadelphia
cause. Then somebody writes, a donor writes, please do not invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term, in my opinion. Like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times after the dust settles a bit, maybe. So again, this is 48 hours before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He was very clear and he was very explicit, and he did not back down, not in that Hamptons meeting, which they're all lying about, nor in this text thread. I'm not going to reveal the names of the other 7. Actually, you know what? I disagree with myself 4 seconds ago. Let's just throw in Josh Hammer for funsies. He's on this chat, okay? So what are we to make of that? Okay, now that I'm showing you this and showing to you that the conversations were real, I want you to reflect, and it took me a lot of patience to allow the lies that were being woven and the misrepresentations of people that were pretending that I was just, high on lying about Charlie and the pressure he was under, the attacks that not just me, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly faced for trying to stand up and tell the truth about what Charlie was actually going through. Why are you hearing it, though, from me and Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly? Isn't that weird? You got people that are hosting a show. Have they, in like one honorable thing, come out and said, like, you know what? F a couple of these donors who made his life a living hell in the last couple of weeks. Why haven't they done that? It's also a rabbi in that chat. Like, why hasn't anybody made that move to at least say, to vindicate what I have been saying about what he was going through? That registers to me as very suspicious. I'm going to frankly say that it's suspicious to me. It makes me think that in the same way that Charlie was being pressured by money, that you might be now run by that same money, that those same donors might be running you to correct the ship and to focus yourselves on eulogizing Charlie as something and someone that never once flinched, never once for a single second doubted the Israeli cause.
Wow. Very, very interesting stuff, man. Again, going back to that text message that she released, that she showed us just now. Given the way, you would agree, right? Given the way that the people were talking about Candace, there's no way she was in there. That wouldn't even make sense, right? So that means that somebody at Turning Point, she said there's 7 people in that group chat. So we know that one was Charlie, so that's 6 people. She said one was Josh Hammer, that's 5 people. So that means there's 5 people that were in there that had to be close insiders that care enough or have seen enough to know that they need to be giving Candace this information. They need to be showing her these screenshots. They even told her apparently who these 7 people in the chat were, and she might release a name a day. What? She's such a Gotham villain. Why is she such a Gotham villain? You know what? I might release one name a day. We'll see what you think about that, Batman. It's just give us all the names. But one a day is pretty cool. You know, at the same time, she is amazing with information, but she also knows how to make sure that what she's doing stays seen. Like, she's learned a lot from Ye in the past few years that she's been hanging around him. She's learned a lot of how to stay very relevant and then on top of that, like, amazing information at the same time. Very, very commendable. But yeah, somebody had to have given her that information. Who is that person? Who knows? Hopefully they stay safe, because if I'm trying to figure it out and it's been released, and this was 3 hours ago that this information was released, there's probably some other people that are trying to figure it out as well. So, man, we'll see what happens. And then the whole thing of Philadelphia. I mean, that whole Philadelphia thing it's bad in this situation. Now, aside from all that, not even aside, something very weird happened. The person who posted this, they said this. Let me show you guys. They said Turning Point. They said Turning Point. We are seriously trying to navigate what happened to Charlie. They said Tyler Boyer, who claimed that he was the co-founder, and then Andrew Colvet, not sure what he is in the company, but both of them were super close to Charlie. Can either of you confirm or deny if this was a factual conversation that took place? You said you're committed to transparency. Here's your chance. Tyler actually responds to this person. I did not expect to see this at all. Tyler responds and says, everyone is trying to navigate working with the authorities who are investigating his murder. Okay. And then this person says, Tyler, no one is trying to paint anyone as a bad guy, but that's not an answer. I'm assuming your lack of denial means it's a yes. The messages are true. Now, we, the majority of people, honestly feel like we're not being told everything. Things don't add up. Maybe that's part of an ongoing investigation. Maybe not. But people are not confident with where we are right now. Ask people and they'll tell you no one feels like they're being told the truth. That's very, very true. We are being lied to. We were lied to about Candace's relationship with Charlie, and we're lied to about Charlie's evolving feelings towards the government of Philadelphia. I love saying Philadelphia. It doesn't look good for Turning Point. We love the organization that Charlie built, but it doesn't look good. Tyler then, in a back and forth, I did not expect this from this Tyler guy at all. He really doesn't have to answer this. They don't really have to answer anything, quite honestly. It's a pretty simple answer. Many of us are being painted as bad guys, quote unquote, because we can't respond to anyone except authorities. This notion that Turning Point is bad because we're not doing a public thing like Candace is not right. Now, oh man, I just completely messed that up. Let me see. I'll go here. Now, every person that has anything to say about Turning Point is trying to help the authorities investigate and lock up the bad guys. Villainizing anyone is unfair to do. I have been with Charlie longer than anyone. I've seen a lot of bad takes all around. I'll reserve my opinions and just ask that people please stop accusing innocent people of wrongdoing. It's unholy, and it's all over your comments as well as Candace's. He's trying to what's going on right now is he's kind of trying to accuse this guy of being the reason why so many people have these opinions, but it's actually not true. People just kind of have common sense. Everybody's able to find the videos and the clips and this and that. It's more than just two accounts that are doing this. This is a collective thing that's happening. You know, just like with every other thing that took place, people get together and they start talking and they start thinking about information. The outcome, it's wrong and a bad way to treat people who are closest to the tragedy, including family, etc., etc. Okay? Then he says here, somebody says, if you can't respond to anyone except authorities, why are you responding to this? This makes it even more questionable. If you didn't do this, then why should it matter if you answer, should it? It shouldn't matter if you answer, should it? Then Tyler comes again. This is somebody else. He's just responding to people. Very odd. I mean, I didn't expect this. Are you asking me to answer questions to speculate on my best friend's murder? And if I don't, then I'm guilty of something? Here's where all of that goes wrong. What the person, the author of this post, who posted this clip and everything, they're asking if the messages that Candace showed were real. That's what the person's asking. Can you verify that these are real messages? The answer is yes or no. He then goes into this whole thing of we're being painted as the bad guys, and it's a pretty simple answer. You know, we're just trying to communicate with the authorities. Candace releasing these text messages, I would think, is not something the authorities are concerned about. He can answer this. Both people who were questioned about this can answer. They can say, yes, this is real, or they can say, no, this is not real. I wouldn't see a world where they wouldn't be able to answer that. Especially if it wasn't real, they could say no. And Candace is a liar, and this is a forgery. Never believe anything she says again. They could just end Candace's career, but instead he's like, no, not that kind of person. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to reserve my opinions. I have the authorities that I have to answer to, and that's it. Nah. Doesn't make any sense. That tells me that these messages are very real. Very, very real. And honestly, I don't think Candace would make up messages. And I don't think she got this from a random account saying, hey, Candace, check this out. If she did, that'd be terrible. But it seems like for her to know the names of the group chat and to get access to these messages, these screenshots, someone in the group chat had to give her this information. There's a lot of people speculating a lot of things about this whole thing going on. And it's wild because, yeah, they were lying about Candace again. So, Charlie, could you imagine, man, how great would that turning point event be? Charlie's still alive. He's trying to bridge that gap. He's trying to have real conversations at his event. Candace is back. Candace gives a speech. Maybe she answers questions. They start communicating again. They don't agree on everything. Charlie very much disagrees with her on a lot of things. Everybody knows that. But they start communicating openly, publicly. Then that turns into them talking with Nick. Then there's Candace, Tucker, Nick, Charlie. Charlie's trying to navigate these waters. And then he's bringing people who are staunchly on his side of things, his opinion, and they actually get to talk it out. There's a real conversation that's being had throughout America about this whole thing. Philadelphia, That would have been nice. I mean, not even just nice for the people, nice for him to be able to really talk to his friend publicly. Man, too bad. Really too bad. The quartering says, serious question. Let's assume these texts are real and that Charlie is 100% serious and not being sarcastic, which is totally possible. What exactly does this prove? Think before you reply. What does it prove? Other than someone close to him was fine leaking texts. For shame. Now, what I said was, doesn't it confirm his evolving position, which everyone, including you, said wasn't true? Now, he didn't answer that. I'm not big enough for him to answer that kind of stuff. Yet. One day, they'll all have to answer when I message. When I comment on things, they'll all have to answer one day. But not yet. So that went ignored. But, I only bring that up to say, that's the thing. When people said his opinion on Philadelphia was evolving, everybody was like, that's not true. And then people were like, well, here's the clips. You can see 3 weeks ago he said this, 2 weeks ago he said this, a few days ago he said this, and now he's gone. They said that's not true. Look at this clip from a year ago, what he had to say then. And we'd be like, okay. But now it turns out that was an actual thing. It's not just some video clips that they can claim that people are taking out of context. It's an actual an actual text that's in context that shows that there was actual pressure. Makes you rethink what Candace said about the whole Hamptons thing. And was that real when her and Bill Ackman went at it back and forth? Makes you rethink it. Doesn't mean that it's all true. But it's like, man. I'm telling you, it's just like the friendship thing. You said they weren't friends at all. You said they were not friends. Turns out they were. Man, you got to tell the truth. Brandon Tatum, Officer Tatum, he's gone down such a weird road. I mean, I can't say that he's getting paid, but it seems like he is. I'm not saying he is. It just seems like it. I don't know. It's weird. But who knows? Unfortunately, Charlie cannot defend what he said on a private message he clearly did not intend to make public before he was taken away from us. That's true. That is true. What Officer Tatum is saying there is true. He can't defend it. But why would he have to? See, that's the role that Tatum takes now. He takes this weird role where he's saying these weird things. Listen, I said it before. I said it 3 years ago. There will be people who are YouTubers who will do the same job that the mainstream media does because they stopped going to the mainstream media people. They're cutting salaries left and right on the mainstream media people. And they're going to the YouTubers now and they're saying, here's absorbent amounts of money. All you have to do is say the things. And a lot of these people I'm not saying he's one of them. Not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's going to be a bunch that are getting that type of thing going on. There has to be. And they're going to go to influencers, and it's going to be TikTok people, and it's going to be Instagram. They're going to go to those people. 100%. No doubt in my mind. And they're going to find the youngest ones, and they're going to get the oldest ones, and they're going to get the left, and they're going to get the right. Anyway, that's my TED Talk. We may have been wrong about Candace. There's many people thinking that now. And then this is Josh Hammer. He's just author. He's a host of a podcast, syndicated. I don't know this guy. Works for Newsweek. Seems like a well-to-do guy. So apparently he was in on this group chat. So that's one person named. One person was Charlie. Candace should release 5 more names. Could you imagine she releases the name of the person who gave her the... I guess she has to, or else it looks a little weird. The next person she names might be the person that leaked it. You never know. There has to be like a tactical thing, because if it's the last person, you look like the one that leaked it. If it's the first person, it's like, oh, Candace is out to get you. Yeah, think. One of those names she releases to us is going to be the person that gave her the messages. Man, but yeah, just a wild occurrence, guys. I just wanted to bring that to you. Sad to see. His opinions were evolving, and your opinions can evolve. Your opinions can evolve. It doesn't mean, as you learn things, like a lot of older people, when they hear what my views are, they say I'm a classic liberal. That's what they say. They go, oh, you're not conservative. You're a classic liberal. And I go, oh, okay. Like, yeah, you're older. Fine. Okay. And because I see myself as conservative, I don't then push away everything that a classic liberal will believe. There's a lot of things that a conservative today believes, pretty much almost everything, that a classic liberal of 20 years ago, 30 years ago believed. So now I'm not going to push everything aside. My opinion can evolve. I know I'm conservative. I know there's some things that'll be like classic liberal type stuff. I'm just saying, like, as you learn and grow, it doesn't exactly mean that the way that you felt before is completely gone. It's just that you've also taken on these other things. And that's what was happening with Charlie. He was just starting to see some things. That's it. Oh, man. Sad what happened. Sad. Just sad. Sad what's happening to Candace, quite honestly. I mean, she even mentions it. She mentions it. She goes, all these people were lying. She was like, all these people were just making things up about me. And it's true. People were just like, she's just making things up. That's all she ever does, is just make things up. And again, that same mainstream media mentality, when you see it enough, you start to go, is she making it up? Is she? And then, boom, something like this happens, and you're like, you almost got me. You almost got me, Tatum. You almost got me, officer. Hi, my name's Agent Colin. Hi, I'm Agent Colin. You can trust me. Hi. Anyways, guys, just wanted to bring that to you. I'm out of here.